YouTube, petey Twofinger here with a recommendation video. The popular music sucks. It's not really about musicianship or songwriting. Finding out about quality stuff doesn't come through those channels. There's one way, which is like, oh, anybody that worked under Zappa as they went out, they probably they would start other bands, and anybody who worked under them, that type of like Godfather thing, or listening to a musician you respect and they say, oh, I saw this band and they blew me away. You think, well, there's a good chance that that band's probably really talented or has some skill. So there's all kinds of different ways that I can try to find out about stuff that I may have missed. That's what this video is about today. It sucks that our culture is like what it is. Now, I had first found out about Beat Club, Der Beat Club, and it's Bremen, Germany. It's a television show that features music for children. So Jimi Hendrix was on it, The Who, Tina Turner, because we all know that's music for children. Anyway, if you see a video with a blue chroma key background, chroma key that's green screen. In this case, they use blue, so it's electric blue. The seated performers, and there's nothing behind them. And the reason they did it that way was so they could implement some sort of psychedelic imagery, a freak out behind the band. Well, now, many years later, that psychedelic freak out stuff is pastiche. It's not in vogue anymore. So we see this channel called Beat Club. That's the logo for the Beat Club television show from Bremen, Germany. They're uploading this content, which features these usually wonderfully talented performers playing legitimate, real music. It's not pop. It's good stuff on a electric blue background. So I'm a Zappa fan. I knew who Don Valet was, aka Captain Beefheart. The first footage I had seen from Beat Club. The guitarist, for one, his suit, and then for two, the dance that the guy does. I wish I could dance like that. They name it. It's like BC 78-2HZ half 72-413. I don't understand that, and I could see how it would. Some people would be scared to click on it with all that undecipherable coded information in the video titles. But that shouldn't keep you away, because if it made it to Bremen Beat Club, it's probably really good stuff. We got Steve Miller Band, which was what I watched last night. This Curtis Mayfield is up there. He did the soundtrack for Superfly, which is excellent soul or R&B funk music. The Kinks, I just watched the Kinks. I watched the Grateful Dead. The video of the band I'm talking about, specifically in this video, I had never heard of. That video was just uploaded less than a month ago, January 2019. So the band is called Fanny. It's an all-female band. I'm just going to read from WikiWand. Fanny was an American rock band active in the early 70s. They were the first all-female rock group to achieve critical and commercial success with 2 hit singles. So it's June Millington and her sister Jean Millington, who've been playing music since they moved from the Philippines to California in the early 60s. So they were playing ukuleles to try to attract friends. That turned into this group called the Svelts. They moved out to LA, had the band change to Wild Honey, and then they were doing Motown covers. They did a show at an open mic at the Troubadour, and then they broke up. Well, right after they broke up, they got news that they got signed by Reprise Records, which was actually Warner Brothers. So it's these 2 Filipino girls out of Sacramento with ukuleles. They developed this band. You got the one sister playing hollow body ES330 Gibson guitar, playing both lead and rhythm really, really well. And they all sing. They brought in this Nikki Barclay, who was a keyboard girl, and she could sing and could write. So Alice DeBure on drums. Every one of these girls can really play, and they all can sing good. And the music it's rocking. They called them hard rock, which, like anything with a guitar where there was Any Dirt on the guitar or Overdrive was categorized as hard rock, which, I mean, I guess that was a real creative thing to do. Now, they named this band Fanny, which was not a sexual connotation, but to denote a female spirit. And they did have this Bree Brandt on lead vocals and percussion, but I haven't seen any of that. I've always seen it's June Millington fronting the band. Sometimes the keyboard girl, what's her name? Barclay? Nikki Barclay. Now, she went off to Joe Cocker as a backing singer and appeared on the album Mad Dogs and Englishmen. She also was fighting with June. They clashed because their personalities were different. I know that she did a solo album and then disappeared from the music industry in 1974. Their fourth album, Mother's Pride, was produced by Todd Rundgren. Surprise, surprise. June ended up leaving the group. She moved to Woodstock to study Buddhism. Now, that's where Todd Rundgren is from, so I'm not sure what that was all about. But yeah, she left and insisted the group would continue on without her. They did. DeBure also left the band, with Brandt returning on drums. Patty Quattro is Susie Quattro's sister. You may have heard of Susie Quattro. Big Top of the Popper. And they signed with Casablanca Records, which, if you ask me, I don't know, but when I think of Casablanca, I think of cocaine and disco. I have to look into that. I might be wrong. So they did a Rock and Roll Survivors album in 75, hit number 29 on Billboard Hot 100, a song called Butter Boy, written by Gene Millington about David Bowie. Now, as they were going around, they ended up, they opened up for Slade, they opened up for just all kinds of bands. They were the first all-female group to sign with a major label. After, they weren't the first, because Goldie and the Gingerbreads and the Pleasure Seekers. I looked at the Pleasure Seekers, and they were more like, they have that like kind of underage girl vibe that they try to like sexualize these women, like that. The Runaways, the Cherry Bomb, and all that. Like, that's just not for me. I like women, and that makes me sick. It makes me angry. So that's I have to really go way out of my way to state that this band Fanny, despite their name, that's not what they were about. They could really play, and they did not wear suggestive or heavy metal, leather. They were just dressed nicely, we'll put it. Wasn't like dressed like some kind of street trollop or leather goddess. And then they start playing, and it's like she's just wailing. She's like really, really good. So that was what was cool. They tried to get them to play that game, and they wouldn't do it. She was like, no, we're just going to keep rehearsing, because it was the 60s, the 70s, and it was this all-male thing they were up against. So they knew that they had that's what they were up against, and they were coming out like not all dressed down in their bra and panties. They came out fully clothed, and their weapon was their music, because they could play, because they just kept rehearsing and writing these awesome tunes. David Bowie loved them. He stated they were extraordinary, they wrote everything, they played like motherfuckers, they were just colossal and wonderful, and nobody's ever mentioned them. So I'm here mentioning them. Fanny is this kick-ass band. Gibson ES355, this big orange hollow body, and then she also had a Les Paul Jr. with a Trainer amp. She played a Fender Twin. Her sister had the 63 for Fender P bass. Nikki, I believe, Nikki Barclay used a upright piano, and then she had a Hammond organ on the stage as well. This drummer, Alice DeBure, is just, and they all sang. They were all like just really tight 70s rock band that they weren't sellouts. They weren't playing butt rock. They weren't playing shit rock. It wasn't glam fake music. This was just really, really good music. Marvin Gaye Ain't That Peculiar, that's the song, featuring Rolling Stone saxophonist Bobby Keys. June Millington has this ability to play both lead and rhythm guitar, which was outstanding. So I'm going to leave you with some links. I always copy and paste stuff into the link If you're not so hot about being tracked, use DuckDuckGo. But do your own research. That just means Google stuff, and I do that all the time. So yeah, there's a big article in The Guardian. There's the FannyRocks.com. That's their site. Yeah, 5-page story of Fanny. So I would encourage you, if you really do want to look into this band, go to FannyRocks.com. I will put the link in the description. I will also link 2 videos on YouTube. There's the Wikipedia article. It's Fanny. Fanny Classic Rock's greatest all-female band. All of the live video recordings, 1970 to 1973. That's a 35-minute video. And then we have 35-minute. It's 50 seconds longer than the one that's supposedly all. So definitely check out those videos and look into this music. I'll give you enough links to get you started in the description for Fanny the band. When I am recommending something, it's something that not everyone is going to know about. You get what I mean? It's going to be more off the beaten path stuff. Peace.